Is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, everybody? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show here Friday. It's here. Got 11 games on the main slate, and once again, James, injuries are going to really impact which way we go. A ton of star names questionable, just like it was the other day, where we actually had a majority of them actually play, not miss the game, but play. We did have some miss the game, but, Friday's here, big slate, going into the weekend. Got to pay attention to the news.
News, John. That's the name of the game these days. Everyone under the sun is questionable. Everyone under the sun, 12 games in, is banged up. It's another, I believe it's another play-in tournament, in-season tournament game slate. So I've liked the in-season stuff so far, like other than the courts, which I think, the courts are what they are. Yeah, it's an in-season tournament day. So like they are what they are. I think most importantly, it's a listener league Friday, John.
It is listener league Friday. That is true. If you are paying attention to our show this morning, I got the link to the contest in the description. You're nice enough to tune in and listen to James and I talk basketball each and every day. You're part of our listener audience, so you get an opportunity to join our $5 DraftKings listener league. So click that link in the description. Join our $5 listener league contest here today for the Friday main slate. Of course, if you're also a member of the Fantasy Alarm family, you can find that link in our Discord and in the DFS NBA Playbook, which will be done by Sean Mitchell here today. So be on the lookout for that link if you haven't already joined in previous weeks here. Have some fun with the family as we go into the weekend. James, before we do break down this DraftKings main slate, do want to give a shout out to our friends over at RT Sports. If you go to rtsports.com/alarm, using promo code ALARM23, new users will get a 100% deposit match with their first deposit up to $200 here. They have their NBA DFS Pick'em product out there for all of us to go ahead and have some fun with. So why don't we pull it up? Let's see if we can take a look at a few props here, James, for this Friday slate for everybody here. Again, 11 games on the board, some pretty good matchups here. First one that I wanted to jump off into here was De'Aaron Fox. Going up against San Antonio here. The scoring for him has been fantastic of late. He's at 27.5 points. That said, I don't know if they keep this game close enough. Yeah. I don't know if he gets to the 27.5 before this game is out of hand. I don't know if you feel the same way or not with this one. We've seen Sabonis be an absolute monster. Again, so has Fox lately as well. But 27.5 in a game where I'm not sure if we're going to see, again, him play the full allotment of minutes here. I know it's a 235 game total and it's only a 7-point spread, but I think I'm going to go under the 27.5 points for Fox here.
I was in simpatico with you here, John. I think, the only saving grace for San Antonio is that they're home. But if there's no Keldon Johnson in this game, and if there's no Trey Jones, and if there's no depth pieces for San Antonio here, they have no chance to keep this close. Devin Vassell is already rolled out. It's not, things are not looking good for San Antonio to keep many games competitive. So as much as we like how good De'Aaron Fox has looked, I'm with you. I think under 27.5 is where I'd go. To pair with you, John, I'm going to go to the Knicks Washington game, and I want to take a look at one Julius Randle. And I understand that there was no RJ Barrett. I understand that we'll see if RJ Barrett plays this game or not. Julius Randle's been on one, and we've kind of been talking about that for some time. He has 23-plus points in 5 straight games, 3 of which he's surpassed 23 points. I think he's going to surpass 23.5 here again. So more than 23.5 points for Julius Randle, who continues to be a bucket. And he gets, this is the dream scenario for the Knicks. The fastest paced team, one of the worst defensive units in the league. check and checkmate for Julius Randle more than 23.5 points.
I like that. So here's 2 picks here to get you guys going on a Friday. De'Aaron Fox less than 27.5 points. Julius Randle more than 23.5 points here. A little 3Xer to kick off your weekend. So again, go to rtsports.com/alarm. Use promo code alarm23 to take advantage of the latest promos here from RT Sports and get that deposit match. Taking a look now at the DraftKings main slate here, James. Again, we have the 11-game mainer that we're taking a peek at here. Where are we starting? What games should we be looking at to target? As I mentioned, the San Antonio Sacramento game is at a 235 total, so certainly a pretty high scoring expected game. We'll see if it actually gets there, if it ends up going the blowout route. But where else are we looking?
Yeah, 235 in that game. I see 235 to 233.5, 235, somewhere in the range between Philly and Atlanta. It's basically a pick 'em, especially with Joel Embiid questionable. Phoenix, Utah is 236.5. 4.5 point favorites are the Phoenix Suns at home. That's like it for really appealing games. We have some ugly ones. Boston, Toronto is super ugly, 216. Chicago, Orlando running right back. That's an ugly one as well. 228 is the lowest you'll probably see the Washington Wizards in a game all year long, but that is because the Knicks. I guess 236 is in Milwaukee, Charlotte, with Giannis questionable in that game. So that game is a little more intriguing than I led on with. That game is interesting because Charlotte's down so many people and potentially down even more with Hayward and Brendan Miller on the injury report. Rozier already rolled out. I mean, only 6.5. I know Charlotte's at home. They're definitely covering their butts with Giannis being questionable there. So that's it in Vegas land. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it here. Point guard position. Got LaMelo here at 10-2. Top guy up over 10K here. Booker likely playing point guard with Beal out. Dame $9,800. Maybe no Giannis as we've seen before. How are we approaching these top tier point guards?
I mean, I have absolutely no issue getting to LaMelo at this point at basically any price. He's just continuing to dominate, especially scoring. Even when he's not shooting well anymore, there's just so many shots to be had. He took 26 shots in a game without Gordon Hayward last time out, no Rozier. They even kept it close against Miami. He played 33 minutes, took 20 shots against the Knicks. Like, there's just such a nice floor when you're playing LaMelo ball. Milwaukee's a bad defensive team that plays really fast, so I could really get behind some LaMelo. Obviously, Dame, I don't know if Dame's going to be, the top chalk of the slate if Giannis sits, but he'll be in the top 3, probably highest owned plays of the slate. I mean, he didn't even really play in the fourth. Like, they put him in for like a couple seconds before they got back up too big, and then they took him back off the floor when the blowout was back intact. So he went for
insane
70
free throws for him.
Yeah, insane free. And we knew he could be this good. He just hadn't been this good. Also, I don't know if you heard Dame's comments after the game about the in-season tournament.
Yeah, he likes it. He says he wants to get the young guys paid.
So here we have another situation where in-season tournament Dame is in full effect, right? So
I wonder if the league got to some of these guys here, because Curry was talking about it yesterday as well, being like, no, we get it. We understand what it's about. It's not difficult to follow. You just got to read the rules and follow it along. And then, you have Dame out here talking positively of it. Right. LeBron was talking positively of it. So I wonder if the league kind of went out to some of their, faces of the league here and be like, hey, can we talk positively here so we don't have Bones Highland out there being like, I don't know what this is about. Right. I have no idea what this game is, what we're doing. Yeah,
it's funny. I was listening to I saw a Paul George clip from his podcast pop up, and it was literally directed at the in-season tournament. So I listened to it, and he referenced that. He's like, yeah, I heard the Bones thing, and that's his teammate. And he's like, I think a lot of guys are just kind of like, well, it's a regular season game, so it counts. And, they're still trying. I think a lot of people are trying to get on board. So I think you bring up a good point. I do think there might have been something like, hey, let's all for one for all here. Like,
yeah, exactly.
but especially with the two-way contracts and how that's developed, like I like Dame's outlook on things. I think that's a really Dame has also been a very positive person in the NBA community, like forever. So we'll see a very popular Dame if there's no Giannis. I don't hate the idea of getting if we're gonna start getting like good Dame, I don't mind necessarily getting to him at 98 if Giannis plays. It's obviously but if Dame's gonna start heating up, then for sure TBD on the Toronto guys, I guess, or on the Cleveland guys as well, because now, so the status update says it's unclear when he picked up the injury. If you're watching that game, there was like this little motion at the end of the game where he just kind of like motioned Bickerstaff to get somebody in the game for him, and then he just kind of like hobbled off. I think it happened like in the final 3 minutes of that game because he didn't close. I mean, it was a 16, 17 point game at that point, but Strus closed, Mobley, like the rest of their starting five was basically on the floor. So TBD on the Cleveland guys. If they're both don't play,
I mean, it's LeVert all day, right?
It's LeVert literally like best per dollar play of the slate. I know he's not a point. I don't.
I think he's shooting guard only.
Yeah,
shooting guard small forward. $6,900.
Best play, like literally the best play of the slate. But I know we're not there yet. But both Cleveland guards are here, so it's worth mentioning them in a
moment. I would agree with you. Maxey 91, Trae Young 92, De'Aaron Fox 9K, Jalen Brunson $8,300. Sort of your next tier down.
I mean, Trae has looked really bad at shooting again, John. And guess what? 45 and 48 fantasy points. Like the guy is just a freaking fantasy point machine, no matter if he's shooting well or not. And we saw what happens when he does shoot well, like the Orlando game. So there's definitely a ceiling for Trae. We saw the ceiling for Maxey as well. De'Aaron Fox is, I mean, 9K is still probably too cheap in a game if that stays competitive. I don't know if this one does, but
are you surprised it's only 6.5 with Vassell already ruled out? I mean,
yeah, that's again the Spurs being home. I mean, we've been talking about this, I think, a lot to start this year, have we not? Like they are giving
out the Lakers.
They did in LA. No, torched them. Now LA second leg of a back-to-back, right? And maybe that had something to do with it. And I don't know. I'm workshopping here, okay?
Sure.
I feel like we have seen that quite a bit, where the road team where are we? Thursday?
Yeah.
The OKC. It's the OKC Golden State thing where we opened yesterday's show saying like, well, why you posed the question like, why is OKC only 2.5 point favorite?
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah, 3.5. Yeah.
In Golden State, when there's no Steph, there's no Draymond, and Oklahoma City's fully healthy. They got like Kenrich Williams back, who's firmly in their rotation. Like they're fully like. So I think that's been like the home cooking for. But it is a little odd. If you believe that game to stay close, then. I mean, you and I are both playing. Like, we're playing De'Aaron Fox, right? Like that's. I think we're both on that bandwagon.
Agreed, 100%. Moving our way down to this mid-tier range, pending what's going on in Boston here. You and I were in on Jrue Holiday against Philadelphia 76ers, $7,300. If there's no JB, there's no Porzingis. We know what Jrue Holiday can bring to the table here. We just saw this matchup against the Raptors. It was a no-shot blowout win by Boston. I mean, they just, Toronto just didn't show up, or Boston just shut them down. One of the two happened here. But Holiday had 26 fantasy points in 30 minutes there. If those guys are out again, I'd be fine running right back to Jrue Holiday, or as we talked about as well, Derek White, for really no reason, $1,000 cheaper. Also went for 40 fantasy points in that game. So either Boston guard is going to be in play if Jaylen Brown and Porzingis is out. If Jaylen Brown is out, either Boston guard may just be in play in general.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. The more Boston actives, the worse this game probably looks because I don't know if Toronto keeps it competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I want less. I want less Boston players to be in because that means I think Toronto could potentially keep it more competitive, right? So, yeah, no reason Derek White should be that much cheaper, but we saw how good Drew Holiday can be. I mean, we've talked about the rebounding a lot this year. No Porzingis, 10 rebounds for Holiday, right? This is his fourth double-digit rebounding game this year. Fourth double-digit rebounding game this year. I think if there was one place that Boston wasn't necessarily great, it would be on the glass, and I think Drew Holiday provides that from the guard spot. So, I'm okay with either Boston guard.
I'm with you. Where else are we going down here? Point guard.
If there's no LeBron, obviously the D'Angelo Russell play is interesting. If Garland's in, no Mitchell, obviously Garland. Jordan Clarkson under 7K, probably still in play if we're just going to keep running out this same lineup where he plays in the starting lineup with people who don't want to shoot other than Lauri Markkanen, and he lost that run due to blowout. 2 of the last 3 games, Jordan Clarkson has lost run to blowout, right? So if Jordan Clarkson is getting 36, 37, 38 minutes like he would in a competitive setting, I mean, who's to say he doesn't take 3 to 4 more shots in that span, right? And potentially get 50 fantasy points. So Clarkson's a great play.
Yeah, if we had the RT Sports prop open for Clarkson points, it wasn't up there yet. I would have gone the over for sure.
No matter what the number was, just take it the over.
Because they put it at 20.5 like the last couple of slates. They're not going to bump it up to 25, but they'll probably move it to 22.5, which is kind of a big jump for books here, but just still too low.
Still definitely too low. Clarkson's still significantly too cheap based on this team construction that they're playing.
How cheap does Jordan Poole have to get for you to play Jordan Poole?
I mean, I don't know. Blanket statement, just tournaments, probably not the best spot for it. I will say there's 2 things that it's hard to ignore with Jordan Poole is the minutes are finally consistent, 30 plus in 4 straight games. Even in that Dallas game, that wasn't competitive at all. Mm-hmm. And the shot attempts are still there. I mean, he's going to eventually make shots. We know
he'll have a 10 for 17 game at some point, right?
We know he's going to make shots at some point. He is no matter what we can say about him and how bad it's looked, because it has looked bad. He is a good dude. He didn't just score on Golden State because I get it, but I get that there's a good system over there and it's different than Washington, but these are 2 different players. Jordan Poole in Golden State to Jordan Poole in Washington. So I think we're just in a bad stretch. Blanket statement tournaments moving forward for Jordan.
Okay. Any value guards on your radar here?
I mean,
is Kante George interest you at all?
Did I go past him? No, 54. It's a good price, dude. He lost out on dude. So you mentioned the double-double thing.
He's going to have a double-double.
And
at some point.
Another guy who maybe it wasn't, and I can popcorn machine it to see how many minutes he did lose. What was the day? What was the day of that game?
11-14.
11-14. I want to see how many minutes he actually lost. I assume he's just going to settle in around this 30-minute mark. So he actually played nearly the entire 4th quarter. I take it back. He checked out 5 minutes in the 3rd and didn't check back in until 7 minutes of the 4th. So he basically sat 12 straight minutes, which typically wouldn't happen. I'm okay with Keontae at 54. It's not the best spot overall, but it's a really good, from a Phoenix has been good defensively, but good pace environment, really big total. I'm good with it.
Okay. Anybody else?
Dyson Daniels continues to be very consistent, and he continues to start. And he lost on just another guy who's back-to-back games should have been on the floor and is involved in blowouts. Mm-hmm. But we're talking about a guy who's been at a fantasy per minute in 2 straight games. If he's going to continue to start at point guard, also we did go past Jordan Hawkins. This was the Jordan Hawkins game. I don't expect him to go 10 for 19 against Denver again, but we've now seen twice in the last 5 games Jordan Hawkins go for 39 and 49 fantasy points. Right. So one of these 2 guys seem like they're going to go off on on a night-to-night basis. Reggie Jackson, 5K, has been really consistent for Denver again, 30 minutes, 28 minutes, 32 minutes. double-digit shots in 3 straight games, 28, 22, 33 fantasy
It's
points.
good to see this because, I mean, when he first took over, they were blowing teams out, so we were only getting this like 20-minute run.
Yep.
But now that they've been in some more competitive games here, he's actually getting the minutes we thought he would get. So the production has followed suit. And honestly, production, the price tag is probably too low on him if Denver's going to be in a competitive game here.
I agree. I fully agree with that statement. I think that's a good way to phrase it. And they've been in competitive games lately. Like they've needed Jokic to have Herculean performances to like. I mean, we saw two games ago he was they were minus 26 in 12 minutes without him. So like, I think this is going to be a competitive game in New Orleans. I think Reggie Jackson makes sense.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down with that. Any other plays down here for you?
Would you play Sexton coming off 28 minutes, or do you think that's product of blowout?
I think it's product of blowout. Like he's another guy that comes off the bench and can score in bunches, right? So he's like, I use the Bobby Portis term a lot, but like he's just another like high usage 20-minute per night guy that could get more if he gets going or gets more if foul trouble happens, and then he can really break a slate for you. 20 more fantasy points in 3 of the last 4. 2 of those games he played less than 20 minutes. Right. But his shot attempts are 11, 8, 9, 10, 3, 8, 10, 10, 8, 12. So like he gets on the floor. He knows he's only out there for not a long time, so he has a fun time and he shoots, right? So like, and has himself a day. What was that Memphis game? 8 of 10. This is one of the reasons they blew up Memphis. He got on the floor and he did not miss. Hit every shot he took. So, contrarian GPP play. You can go Sexton if you want there. I'm fine.
I got two more names just to rapid fire you. Peyton Pritchard, 23 minutes. If everyone's out again, would you go back to the well?
Probably not.
And then Malachi Flynn, if everyone's out, 3,600.
Okay. Yeah. I like Flynn.
20 fantasy points would have been 6x at his price.
No problem going back to Flynn. We've seen him start and be productive.
And if this game blows out, he
had 15 fantasy points in 23 minutes against Boston in that blowout. So
right.
I'm good. I'm good with that. Shooting guard here. Again, we've talked Booker Mitchell already. Have you seen enough of the Clippers to figure out where you want to go with them yet? Or are we just full fading that team?
I mean, PG's been good the last 2 games. I'll give him that. This is a really bad game environment, though.
True. Slow Houston team that's playing pretty good.
Playing really good defensive, like specifically defensively, like so I, for sure Paul George has a ceiling, but I'll let someone else chase it.
We got an under 8K Cade.
Ooh, that's interesting, huh?
First time all year.
Did you see the clip where the other day when he drove into the lane and there was 5 defenders? 5.
Yeah, his court division isn't great yet. Assist in that game.
He had the assist, but I was just like, that's just what people think of Detroit right now. I mean, they're 2-10, and Oscar Thompson's not making shots, and Stewart's not making shots. So
he's not, and Cade isn't making shots. 4-14, 4-15.
So they've just all 5 like attack Cade, and they're like, well, no one else can beat us, and if there's 5 people on Cade, he can't.
You know who they're missing desperately? It's Boyan.
Yeah, sure.
Guy, he's probably the only knockdown outside shooter they have on that roster.
RIP Isaiah Stewart minutes when that happens.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Levine there of no DDR, got off to a really bad game and then picked it up a little bit at the end, saved some face for managers.
Yeah,
he played him. Shaden's going to play 40 minutes, so you can rock that. Brogdon already ruled out, so not too much concern. Do you consider playing LeVert anyways at 69, or is it just too expensive?
If one of them are out, I would consider it.
Okay. But if both are in, you're out?
It's pretty expensive. I mean, we need 35. He's coming off the bench at that point. Like,
He plays 30-plus minutes off the bench.
I know. But, like, I'm not saying he couldn't, and I'm not saying it's in play. And this is kind of like the discussion you and I had in that Sacramento game. Remember? It was like, well, he's 6,700, and Garland and Mitchell are there. And you're just like, yeah, you're right. Or
he still scored 21 actual in that game. So, I agree with you 100%. I think actually it would be a contrarian tournament play to go Karras here.
Sure.
If those guys are both in, because no one will touch him at the price tag.
Nope.
But the man went for 42 and 43 with
did.
Garland and Mitchell 2 games prior to that.
He sure did. He sure did.
Certainly not out of the realm. More people play Clarkson. Mays kind of fell off, as we assumed. Couldn't keep giving us these double doubles and double digit assists forever. I don't know. I don't really love the price on him. Feels a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, it's it's not the worst spot, but
OG is already doubtful. Austin Reeves rather keeps producing. 61.
Great off the bench, dude. He looks great coming off the bench. He should stay there.
Agreed. What quickly shows up? The 1 for 10 or the 6 for 11? I played him one of those days. Would you like to guess which one?
Flip a coin, John. Flip a coin on which quickly we're going to get.
I mean, he can come off the bench and torch Washington right now.
He sure can.
Easily.
And nobody would be surprised whatsoever. The price is definitely makes you a little more weary though of the 1 for 10s and like mid to low 5s. Like now we're talking about a guy who almost needs 30,
Sure. They did give a price bump up to a lot of our usuals down here. Bogdan's at 58. Hawkins
coming off a ceiling.
57. Yeah, all ceiling prices here. Cole Anthony 54. Burks is 49 now. Gordon could start without Beal. He's 48.
Yeah, I don't dislike Bradley Beal if he makes shots. Like I don't mean. Did I say Bradley Beal?
You meant Gordon, right?
Gordon, yeah, when he makes shots. There's obviously a lower floor now, with Booker and Kevin Durant, like just doing everything, as opposed to like when it was Durant and then everyone else. Yeah.
Cam Reddish keeps playing, man.
Still starting. Yeah, he was good again.
Steals. 3, 3, 3, 0, then 5.
Yeah, he was really good the other night.
Some good defense popping in there. They just won't play Jaden Ivey, much as I wish they would.
No, they will not.
They just won't do it. 26 minutes, 27 fantasy points in 21 minutes. Grimes is questionable.
Yeah, he left.
Yeah,
he actually left.
So if Grimes is out and RJ is out, that's probably quickly, right?
Starting? No,
DDV
they're going to start. They start DDV. They for sure start DDV.
But I mean, locks in quickly for minutes.
I'd have to assume Thibodeau would at that point just be like, all right, gotta play these guys together. Like there's no way that we can just not play Brunson and quickly. Like
if quickly starts.
Yeah, really interesting.
That's a great spot for him.
Yeah, really, really interesting in that case.
Branham, 39. Novosel.
Dude, he has the weirdest peripheral stats of all time. Like none, and then just one game, bam, 7 assists.
Yeah.
How that feels so bad.
And to be him, Grady Dick started 26 minutes, missed all of his shots. Him and Sam Hauser just did us in, right? Like,
yeah.
These guys, when they play 19 minutes, they go out there, they hit all their shots, and they play 30 minutes, and they do the exact same stat line.
Yeah, go figure.
But if he starts again, I'd give him a look. I mean, he took 10 shots.
Agreed.
Anybody else?
What did McGowan's end up playing? 28 minutes? 29 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, Thor sucked. Maladon sucked.
He was 4 for 7 from the floor, did a little bit of everything. It's a low floor play. If you needed some salary, I'd like to see when we wake up and we get the first ownership run, I'd like to see what that ownership looks like, the Bryce McGowan's ownership.
Agreed. All right, let's move on over to small forward here. JT is at 10-3 if everybody's out. Again, you went for 52 fantasy points in 38 minutes in that game. Went for 42 and 34 against Toronto earlier. I don't have a problem going with him, but he feels more of like a cash game play at this point. We know the ceiling can be there, but we're not seeing a ceiling consistently enough because the Celtics are just better at this point. So, last year when Jaylen Brown sat out, that lineup looked a lot different. Now it's got Porzingis, or maybe not Porzingis, but Drew Holiday, Derek White, like just a different team around them. So, cash games probably for me here with Tatum there. Scotty Barnes against Boston, tough spot. Marketing at 86. LeBron's obviously 99. Are you interested in these top guys?
Dude, LeBron's been amazing. amazing. If he plays, it's Portland. He's coming off 71 fantasy points. He's triple-double. I mean, he is 59 and 71 in 2 of the last 3 games, and the one wedged in between, he had 38 fantasy points in 23 minutes. So if you want to get to LeBron under 10K at this point, by all means. Scotty Barnes continues to be good. Markkanen, fine. Markkanen, I feel like, has kind of been done in by this starting lineup change. At least, like, no rebounds to speak of, and the points are kind of like, they're really good, but not like where he's priced. So it's probably just like LeBron, honestly. Like, I don't think I'm going to get to Tatum 10-3. Like you said, he has a great floor, but
not for an 11-game slate, right?
Yeah, dude, when you're playing a 10-3 guy in an 11-game slate, you need, like, I'm not saying he can't get a 70, but if I'm paying 10-3,
65, right? I need to see him at least do it. You know?
Yes, exactly.
Mid-tier plays here. Again, DDR. We'll see if he suits up. You mentioned, also Thompson 74. Gordon Hayward. We'll see if he's in or out or not in this game at 73. Michael Porter Jr. coming off of a tough night. Maybe a good bounce back spot for him.
Very much so. Very good spot to come back to.
Had the 8 of 16 game there against Pelicans a few games back. Franz, more of a cash game. Price is coming down, though, nice, because he was over 7K for a bit. Now he's 66. Minutes are still there.
Terrible game environment. Just terrible game environment.
Fair. Toby against Atlanta. Steady as it can be.
Yeah, so safe. And if you get the bump, probably safe to like actual upside if Embiid sits.
Yep. Barrett sits will go back to hard. I know it didn't look like the greatest game for a while, but he got us there at the end. 9-8-5-1. That's your
chugging along, dude.
That's your draw chart line.
Chugging along. Yep, chugging along.
But the thing is that he had half of those numbers in the first quarter, then did nothing for 2.5 quarters, and struggled in some stuff there at the end of that game to get us over the hump. But always a decent play there. At some point, I imagine Middleton gets minutes bump, but hey, look what he did. 20 minutes, 25 fantasy points. He's $5,500 now. I'm telling you, it is getting closer and closer to where I'm okay paying the $5,500 for 20 minutes, because if they bump him up, he's going to go for 35 at 55.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Dude, he's on under 20 once pretty much since he got his minutes capped to 20. Actually, I lied. He's never scored less than 23 fantasy points once they allowed him to play 20 minutes.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just saw the Miles Bridges 5,300 gonna be.
Oh yeah, he's into this one, right? Is he starting?
Steve Clifford came out and said he is going to play a big role upon returning.
All right, I'll play him
immediately upon return. He may be in the starting lineup, especially if there's no Hayward.
The team put out a statement today. They said, based on the facts that they have the understanding of they're comfortable putting him on the floor. We will let the due process play itself out, but we have to put the reality of real world issues aside, because people will play Miles Bridges.
Yep.
And if he breaks a slate at $5,300 and you're not playing him because you don't like what he does off the floor, it's costing you money in DFS. So that aside, if he's on the floor at $5,300 and starting, I think you gotta put him in your lineup. We know what kind of player he can be. He's an impact guy, offense and defense.
Yeah, I think he averaged 20 points per game before the domestic violence.
And I mean, listen, Ball.
Yeah, they have a very good connection.
They have a huge connection with each other. So
yep.
Listen, if he's in and he's starting, and again, the team ahead of the game, they put out a statement saying, based on the facts that they know of what the situation going on and the league is aware as well, they're allowing him to play. So we'll see what comes out whenever that final court situation is handled with Bridges there. But that's great. It's a good price for a guy, assuming he can be that same guy. He's missed a whole year, right? So, we've seen players miss time and not be able to come back from it and look the same, but or still be distracted from the off-court stuff that's happening. So, but against Milwaukee here, maybe no Giannis. It's worthy of a look. I like Hunter at 5K as well. Just a good price tag for the guy. Koulibaly's at the $4,800.
Eesh.
Got the minutes again.
He got there too. I mean, we're getting close to a range where I'm not really I'm not that comfortable at that price. I don't know if you are. I'm getting a little priced out.
I wouldn't. I would go back to Sam Hauser though.
I feel like I'm getting a little priced out here though. I'm not saying it just because he went 2 for 8. He's also now 46. I like the minutes. They both have to be out. If everything plays out,
if they're both out and he's starting again, and you can tell him he's going to play 35 minutes, then I'm going to go back to Sam Hauser.
Okay,
he's a better 3-point shooter than 2 for 8.
Agreed.
So, and this is what happened. Like, what do we do? We all went off of Rocco yesterday because of what he did the game before, and he was fine. So I'll pay the law of averages and say a 45% 3-point shooter won't go 2 for 8 again. Caruso was awesome, but now he's considered probable. Yep. This is great value right here.
Yes, sure is. It's interesting to only see him play 24 minutes, even in the game without DeRozan. But
he had 5 fouls.
He had the 5 fouls, and you've brought it up a couple times on the show, where you just give the guy minutes and he can be really, really productive. And he was really productive, not even like really defensively. He was offensively with the stats.
If he played 30 minutes, he might have gone for 40 fantasy points. So, great price, same matchup too. This home again. It's a home and home versus Orlando for whatever reason. Just double dipping in that the tournament. Would they play the in-season tournament on Wednesday?
No, it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday. Yeah. This is in-season tournament. Speaking of in-season tournament, John. You went Eason. I was gonna go to Champagne, but Eason.
If he starts again, sure. He started for Keldon. Will he start for Vassell?
Well, Keldon's also questionable.
Truth.
So they might just be without Vassell.
My problem with Champagne is you played him. We all watched it, and he didn't do really. He hit 5x, but he didn't break the slate until the final 2.5 minutes of that game.
He was a bad play. It was not a great play.
All of the value that day dunked. That was the Rocco day. Champagne.
No, different. Yeah. No. I think the Rocco day was the next day because.
So Maladon, Champagne, and
Desuma was the next day as well. Desuma was the Rocco day.
Thor. There was another value play that just didn't do anything on that day. Bumped in.
There was
it big. I don't know. We don't have to waste too much time on it. But to that point, he was doing nothing for a while, and then the end of that game blowout run, he got it all, which could happen in this game too.
Hard to like $1,100 price bump, though. I will say that is not great.
I would agree with you. I do think, again, Tyler Eason, just for me, minutes kind of hanging in this range. He went 1 for 8 when he played 19 minutes, and he had 16 fantasy points.
Yeah, he's a freak.
He's a freak. So, again, 4,300, price didn't move. I don't hate it. I'd rather play Caruso, but I don't hate the Eason spot there. Anybody else down here for you?
No.
Okay. Power forward. Giannis, if he's in, it's a great spot for him.
Yep.
11K. Siakam let everybody down. Scotty Barnes had a day. Could be a bounce back spot. We talk Randle if there's no Barrett. 58 fantasy points. Probably be a core play for many.
Yeah. And maybe not that Grimes is like a big component, but the minutes have been great. The shots are falling for Randle. The peripheral stats have been great. So hard pressed not to get you Julius Randle 88. I will say I don't want Bradley Beal being doubtful really does maybe open up some things for Kevin Durant, whose price is going down despite just being really consistent. I think he fits in that probably in the Tatum bucket, right? Like super safe.
Yeah, what do we have for a spread on this game here?
It is 5. 4.5 and our good friends at BetMGM.
I don't mind. I don't mind the 2-man game that him and Booker are going to play. Definitely gives you gives you the 5x that we're looking for if he goes for 50. So, okay, I can get behind that. If you had to pick one, Randle, no Barrett, or Durant here.
Randle, no Barrett.
Okay. Wemby's 87. Worried about the blowout there, but has obviously shown the ceilings the last couple of games before that. Not going to do Zion. Probably won't do Kuzma in this spot. Do you like that or no?
Yeah, I'm okay not going to Kuzma.
Yeah, I don't really want to do Kuzma against the Knicks. Banchero 71, only 35 fantasy points, or 77 rather, only 35 fantasy points in that game. You went under 200 points total in that game. Gross.
How about Evan Mobley's game? He was one of the reasons I cashed on Wednesday, like having just like a monster. Like, yeah, dude, thank you for being like Evan Mobley again, right? Like, this is 35 minutes. I feel like I've been screaming from the rooftops. Like, why is a 21-year-old Evan Mobley playing 30 minutes a game?
Yeah.
What? And then you get 35 and he gets 3 steals and a block and goes nuclear 20-point double-double. Like, imagine if there's no Mitchell or Garland in the 2-man game with him and LeVert in this one, forget it. We're gonna get
against Bagley and whoever else is at center.
Well, Duran's out and Bagley's questionable. James Wiseman might just be thrusted into action. So, like,
does that mean we have to play James Wiseman?
No, whoa. I was just saying that James Wiseman might be in play or might be on the floor. I'm not saying we have.
He's $3,300 if he starts. So are they gonna just play Stewart at the center spot? I mean, they could, I guess.
Yeah,
they did draft him as a 5, and they just were like, you know what, learn to shoot threes. Yeah, Mobley's in a good spot. I would agree with you there. Grant against the Lakers at 73.
The game can stay competitive. He has a scoring ceiling.
Probably won't. Kicking myself because I identified PJ Washington against Miami.
Yeah.
Obviously, different scenarios here now. If Bridges is back, Bridges is a high usage player, so
you were spot on with the analysis too, because he did literally nothing else. Like, per this year, like basically every other game, but he scored. And that's, I mean, I'm not saying you were 100% correct.
Yeah, no Miller, no Hayward. He has a 30% usage rate. He took 23 shots. So that's where it's at. Bobby Poe up to $6,500 now. You can only play him if there's no Giannis.
Correct.
You can't pay $6,500 for that price.
But you can if there's no Giannis.
Yes, if there's no Giannis, you can. But would you rather play Aaron Gordon?
Probably, but
Who gets the Herb?
Oh, Jokic.
It's probably true.
Dude, I don't know. Herb's gonna be everywhere. He's everywhere, dude. What did I say? I read the stat to you. He has like, let's see that he has. So he had 5. He had 5 steals last game. He had 5 steals and 2 blocks last game. Herb Jones. And Luka had 9 turnovers in like 18 minutes. I mean, I assume it's Michael Porter, but like if Gordon comes out and is dominating, then hey, Herb, you see that guy? Like, it's
whoever hits the first shot, Herb Jones gets that number.
Literally dead ass. Yep. Oh, I just dropped a dead ass. That was
you can play Herb Jones too, by the way, if you want to.
You can. You 100%, sure can.
100% can. It's Denny's price tag, man.
It's
worth it. He's there, but I don't like the Knicks game.
No, I don't either. From the Knicks matchup, from the Washington side, because the Knicks side is great.
Agreed. Where's our guy? Where is he?
Who are we looking for here?
There he is. 17 minutes, 1 for 4, 20 fantasy points.
Well, like you said, the key that we were talking about, the back-to-back. Play the back-to-back.
Yeah, he played the back-to-back, and he's closing games, which is nice. I've been playing Jabari Walker. I put it in the Discord. I'll continue to play Jabari Walker. 23 minutes, 21 fantasy points. This game gets out of hand, he'll get on the floor again. Like, that's fine. If AD puts Ayton in foul trouble or something like that, he'll get on the floor. So I like Jabari Walker as a punt play down here. Not going to play Kamara. Not going to do that one. Not going to play Thor. Boucher.
Yes. Boucher in tournaments, if everyone's still out, I think is a great play. Pat Will, 4,600.
They bumped all up.
They definitely bumped them, but if there's no DeRozan, 31 and 28 fantasy points, fell a point and a rebound shy of the dude. He is showing why he was like defensive. They wanted him to, get better offensively. He hasn't been great there. Hasn't also like killed you offensively, but he's been great defensively. Like the numbers.
Well, that's what it is. The defense is certainly saving the numbers there. Covington, I mean, he played 37 minutes against Boston.
Dude, it's so hilarious.
After playing the 16 against the Pacers for reasons I can't understand. So if he starts again at $4,500, you don't know what version you're getting, but if you get the 37-minute version of Covington, you kind of have to play him. Against Atlanta?
Just find me the crystal ball that can tell you that information. On 11-game slate. There's also like, we sit here and say that now, like, what if Giannis, like, we go down the list, Giannis, Embiid, LeBron is ruled out, and then, or like Cleveland guys ruled out, right?
Keeps looking pretty good at 44.
Yeah, he does. This whole range is really interesting, John, because like you mentioned the Kevin Knox thing, and I like said like, no, we don't need to.
I know, but he keeps hitting all of his shots.
And then he played 20. He played another 28. He played more minutes.
Yeah.
Not that this is like the best matchup in the world, but he played 20 minutes.
I know. They're playing the dude. That's what it is. Prince played 25 minutes. Probably not gonna chase that.
No.
All right. Center spot.
I told you
here. What?
I just the Taurean Prince thing. I told you. I mean, he may have another one. That opening night game, Taurean Prince.
Never gonna happen again.
Dude, it's just never gonna happen again.
You and I have said for almost every slate here, if you can find a way to get to Nikola Jokic, you should like find a way to get to Nikola Jokic here. He shot just 8 of 23 in this game, and he still had 32 actual and 68 fantasy points. I don't know if you saw the video that went around. Basically, it was someone saying that Lou needs to be fired as the coach of the Clippers. The Nuggets ran the same play 8 straight times.
Yeah, he looped around to the post, and he just caught it there and worked from there. I was watching, like, this is insane.
You watched the game, so I just watched the clip of it. It went on for 4.5 minutes.
Yes.
It was 4.5 minutes of play where Reggie Jackson would get the ball, drive to the left side of the key.
Jokic would do a little curl,
flash in front, post up. They would try to double team. None of it mattered. They never adjusted to him being there, except for once. They tried to kind of like screen him off from doing the cut, and Jackson just blew right by Harden, whoever it was, and got an easy 2. Again, this is the Pelicans. They're probably a little bit more competent on the defensive side, but just hilarious that shooting only 8 for 23, he still managed 68 fantasy points. So if he hit his usual 5 more shots that he's averaging on the year, the man would have gone for 80 again in that game. So, if you can find a way to get to the Joker here, find a way to get to the Joker. No, I don't have much more else to say there.
No objections.
So I'm worried about the blowout with Sabonis, but he's been awesome. Obviously, AD's been awesome. Gets Portland though. Maybe worried about that game a little bit. Just not my favorite spot for him there. Where are we going in the mid tier?
Şengün. There's always like those things where like I don't necessarily worry about when it comes to pace because like they're just flowing the offense through Şengün. So and we're getting a pretty good price at 7,700. So 42-45 fantasy points, 34-35 minutes in competitive games. Great to see, by the way, that he's playing mid-30s. And knock on wood, we haven't gotten any foul trouble lately from Alperen Şengün. I think those have been the 2 knocks on him in recent past. The Porzingis price tag is getting awfully low for like a guy who's just been involved in blowouts pretty much the entire year. It's been his price is only decreasing because blowouts. So like naturally we've talked about it. He's going to be the first guy off the floor. And if this game can stay competitive, I mean, we're talking about a guy who has 35 minutes ceiling, 50 fantasy point ceiling at 74.
Yeah, he played 31 minutes in this game against Philly where they were, in a competitive game there, and he had 44 fantasy points, right?
So I mean, KP is really interesting. And then it's kind of just like why don't they play Nurkic? Dude, they might have to. Eubanks is questionable in this game, but like it doesn't even if I don't even think I would play him. I don't even think I would play him honestly if
John Collins been good.
John Collins is still good. Yeah, he's still been super good. Actually got a ceiling out of him last game too.
Pirtle gave us a ceiling game, but did not play well against Boston in that last one.
Did you also see? So if you look what happened in that game, he did not start the second half.
Oh yeah, Precious started the second half of that game.
And then he was playing in the blowout run. So like was that like the benching? Was that like the official inauguration of the Jakob Poeltl benching or what?
We'll see, I guess. Let's see. Where do we go next?
This feels like we would get Capella on the floor for ceiling minutes if Embiid plays. And Ngannou was much smaller than Capella, so that feels fine. Daniel Gafford was 1 rebound away from a double-double, but the minutes, I mean, if there's no Porzingis, you sent me the message earlier, like you vastly underestimated Al. He's also, I think I messaged you, and I was like, he does this against Embiid, doesn't he?
He does.
Like, he's like super weirdly good against Joel Embiid. That's probably like comes with the territory of playing with him every day at practice for a year, 2 years.
Yeah, I think he's just got that like old man strength, right? Where I've been playing this game for too long, he just gets like stone body, just knows the right fundamentals now at this point,
Yeah.
I mean, he had 5 blocks.
Yeah, it's insane. That's insane. He'll be really popular if there's no
starts
Porzingis.
again.
If he starts, no Porzingis, he'll be popular.
I mean, you're getting 30 minutes out of Mitch Rob here.
Well, we think, but no, I know we have always in tournaments. He's
3 shots, 2 shots, not great, but he managed 32 fantasy points in the game. He took 3 shots.
He could literally go for 50 in the spot. It wouldn't surprise me. He could go for 10 in the spot.
As his personal trainer said, "What, man? It's not good enough for lobs anymore." They won't even throw it to him there.
That's true.
What did Precious do? 17 minutes. Obviously, Reed would be in play. It's not really much else here. Not really, not great. I guess, like I said, Wiseman, I guess, at 33.
I think the official word is Bagley. Bagley questionable. So he has an illness. Dude, they would actually, I think, be – because they have Jared Rodan, unless they sent him to G League. Yeah, Jared Rodan plays like 7 minutes a game too. I think Wiseman would just have to play if there's no Bagley and
there were games last year where Wiseman really like dominated.
Yep. And yeah, we thought he was gonna like. I mean, you've said it a bunch of times. Like there was reports that they were just gonna start both of them, and like
the coach said we traded for Wiseman to give him an opportunity to be our center.
Yeah, unfortunately, the only thing is that was like pre-Monty Williams. So that was Dwayne Casey.
Yeah.
So now that Dwayne Casey's not there, they're like, James.
Who are you?
Yeah. You gotta. I mean, he's doing it with Ivy too, right? You gotta earn your you earn your stripes here.
Is this a Nick Richards game?
It always could be.
I mean, another guy that plays 18, 19 minutes, 27, 27, 26, 27, 20, 28.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't mind throwing those guys out there, right?
No, dude, backup centers that are high like fantasy points.
Aren't they like the cheat code a little bit?
Yes.
Like they can sink your lineup like Day'Ron Sharpe did today, or they can go out and just dominate your lineup. And I'll say Nick Richards is way better than Day'Ron Sharpe is, but I do kind of like the Nick Richards play here. I think
I do too, and like there's always if Mark Williams gets in early foul trouble, like. We've seen Mark Williams getting a lot of foul trouble at times.
And going up against Milwaukee, like if Giannis plays, I mean, Dame 17 free throws, right? Just driving right into the chest of Williams here.
We didn't mention Brook. Did you see the Brolo game? You said this, so
I put it in the Discord.
Kudos to you. And obviously, like, dude,
Brook Lopez, wild.
Dude, this is the runner-up defensive player of the year last year. Like, he is no joke on that end of the floor for Milwaukee.
Yep, but what you got here was minutes, right? I mean, 33 is the most he's played all season.
We got the minutes.
And I know people will look like, well, he's played 29, but like 4 minutes is a lot of time in basketball.
Correct. We've seen stretches of like, you've messaged me like, yo, Luke Kennard just came in and hit 3 threes. He had 9 points in 2 minutes. I mean,
So, I mean, 9 points in 2 minutes. I mean, 9 points in 2 minutes. 9 points in 2 minutes. So, I mean, 9 points in 2 minutes. He had 9 points in 2 minutes. He had 9 points in 2 minutes. I mean, Brolo can literally go down, hit a bucket, block a shot, get a rebound, hit a bucket.
Yep.
And that's like 10 fantasy points in 2-3 possessions. So, no, dude, totally in on Lopez here against Charlotte for sure. I know Mark Williams has sort of helped solidify that position a little bit more than it's been in the years past, but I do like Brook Lopez if Giannis is out again. I would play him for sure.
Agreed.
Those are big time block numbers there. All right, let's build a lineup. Let's do the dance.
But I just build it. We'll just put a core out there. Just be like, here's our core. That's not going to be our core. There it is. All right. Good show, John. Nikola Jokic.
It was a pleasure. I enjoyed your company here today.
We'll be back for Friday with substantial changes to everything we just talked about.
Yeah, because we don't know who's playing or not playing. I mean, there's just 9,000 players listed as probable here.
So I think it is Bridges is definitely a play. I kind of want to use him I like the power forward value here a lot. So I almost want to use him at small forward.
That's fine.
I know
what's your power forward? Patrick Williams?
Yeah, I mean I
kind of wanted to go Patrick Williams and Caruso.
Okay, yeah.
To help us get some value here.
I mean, there was Pat Will, there was Boucher, there was who did you say?
Williams plays more minutes than those guys, though.
Jabari Walker was $3,700, who could very much be in a blowout scenario here.
I agree. Walker. I mean, we can just fill out our value around it, I guess. He's a forward. So 65 a play for 2 guards and a util.
Clarkson?
Yep, definitely Clarkson. 63. Let's see. We can probably do one more spend up play here. Do we have a value? Do we have a low guard we liked?
I mean, the Cleveland news is obviously so.
Yeah, where's Quickly at? Where's Quickly?
59.
59. So he's not as cheap as I thought it was, but 67 for a util would give us Aaron Gordon, I guess.
Reggie Jackson, 5K.
Oh yeah, let's do Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, 5K, and that gives us a 76 util.
It would 100% be. It would be Zinger or Mobley.
We'll do Mobley for now, and then if Zinger's in, I guess.
Yeah.
Just an example lineup. Again, as we've said, this will not be the lineup we play.
No.
But thought process here. Some of the guys we definitely like. These are definitely guys that will be in our sort of player pool. Again, Sean Mitchell's doing the playbook here, so we'll have that out for everybody. Get in the Discord. Again, the Listener League link is in the description, so check that out for everybody as well. And if you have any questions, find us. Hit us in that Discord. We'll be around all day. Get us on Twitter. We'll be there as well. Any final words here, James?
Bart Scott can't wait for injury news to actually come out so we can talk about some of the stuff you can't even talk about. Some of the words that we said, it doesn't even matter because we don't know what.
Some of the guys we put in that lineup may not even play tomorrow. We don't know.
Might not.
May not even play tomorrow. So that's it for 11 games here on Friday. Good luck on the weekend, everybody. We'll be around. We don't disappear. Get on that Discord. Become a member of the Fantasy Alarm family today. FantasyAlarm.com/win. We'll see you all later.